Welcome back to the deep dive. Look, Manchester United, they're really at a critical point right now, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. A critical inflection point.
It feels like they're managing multiple crises all at once.
It's a perfect storm, really.
Yeah.
The sources we've been looking at paint this picture of a club that's scrambling on two different timelines.
Two timelines.
Yeah, you've got the urgent, immediate challenge of who can even take the field in the next 48 hours.
Right.
And then there's the much bigger strategic challenge of a January squad overhaul that, let's be honest, is mandatory at this point.
And all of this is happening under this cloud of external pressure. The criticism is just amplifying everything.
Scathing criticism, and it's all building.
So our mission today is to really take a deep dive into these pressures. We're going to pull out the key details from reports on injuries, the massive transfer targets, and of course unpack the fallout from that Everton disaster.
And the immediate flashpoint for all of this is the upcoming game against Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park, on November 30th.
A tough place to go at the best of times.
Exactly. And our sources are already framing this as a match that could, and I'm quoting here, define the momentum of Ruben Amorim's evolving Manchester United project.
So the pressure is already squarely on him.
It is. The whole narrative is that his vision is on the line right now. It's this confluence of short-term needs exposing these really deep, long-term questions about the club's structure and, maybe more importantly, the mentality of the players.
Okay, so let's unpack the immediate concerns then. The team sheet. Who's actually fit and what kind of risks do they have to take for this match?
Yeah.
Let's start with Matthias Cunha.
Right, Cunha. He's the definition of cautious optimism at the moment. He was sidelined with a knock he picked up in training.
A minor head issue, I think was the term used?
That was the term, yes.
Okay.
And the good news is the medical team is insisting it's not serious.
Yeah.
But, with head injuries.
You can't take any chances. The protocols are strict for a reason.
Exactly. So the fact he was pulled for the squad immediately tells you they're not cutting any corners.
So what's the verdict for Palace?
The sources say he's a strong candidate, but it all hangs on how he reacts to the final training sessions.
Which puts the management in a tough spot, right? Do you risk a key player if he's only, say, 90% ready?
Especially knowing a setback could really derail your plans heading into a busy period. It's a huge call.
It is. Now, on to some good news. A real morale booster. Lisandro Martinez.
Yes. The Warrior.
His return is definitely music to the ears of the fans.
Absolutely. He's officially back in first-team training after that awful ACL injury back in February. And the reports on his rehabilitation are all glowing. Impressive and relentless is the phrase being used.
He's the exact kind of character they've been missing on the pitch.
He is. But Amorim is, and I think wisely, urging caution. He wants him fully sharp before he gets any minutes.
Which makes sense.
It does, but the need is so urgent. We are hearing reports that he's closing in fast and could potentially even make the bench against Crystal Palace.
Wow. Even just having him there on the sidelines would be a huge emotional lift for that squad.
A huge lift for a defense that has looked incredibly shaky.
Okay, let's talk about the confirmed absences, because this is where the headaches really start. Benjamin Isco.
Yeah, that knee injury he picked up against Tottenham has turned out to be worse than they first thought.
So he's out for Palace.
Oh, confirmed out. For a few weeks, they're saying. His return is probably early December, and here's the kicker.
Let me guess. That's right when players start leaving for AFCON.
You got it. It coincides precisely with the AFCON departures.
Which immediately raises the question of where the goals are going to come from. The depth is just... it's not there.
It's severely tested.
Yeah.
And it's no better in defense with Harry Maguire.
Still out with the hamstring from that same Tottenham game.
Still out. He hasn't returned to full training yet, so he's looking very, very doubtful for Crystal Palace.
And his recent form was actually pretty good. His absence is being felt now more than ever, which puts a huge spotlight on whichever center back pairing they put out there.
It does. It feels like there's no settled, authoritative combination at the back right now.
So, shifting from the infirmary to the transfer market, this is where it gets really interesting. They're looking at a massive midfield rebuild.
They have to. But first, it's worth noting they're also thinking long-term, which is good to see.
You mean with the youth players?
Exactly. They're looking at loan moves for prospects like Diego Leon and Khan. The thinking is simple. They need consistent minutes in, real men's football.
Get them some proper experience.
Right. And they're assessing Aiden Heaven's situation too. It shows that Amorim's is at least trying to build something sustainable, not just buying quick fixes.
That's smart. But the immediate fix, the absolute necessity, is that midfield. And all the talk is about João Gomes from Wolves.
It is. This has become a real saga. According to our reports, Gomes is absolutely turned by United's interest. He's apparently completely sold on the move.
And he fits the profile perfectly, doesn't he?
He's exactly what they need. That intensity, aggression, the Brazilian bite to break up play.
And you can draw a straight line from that need back to the Everton game. They were just bullied, outrun in the middle of the park.
Bullied and exposed in transition, even against 10 men. A player like Gomes is not a luxury, he's a necessity if they want to play with that kind of intensity.
So what's the holdup? The price.
The price. Wolves will want a fee close to £50 million. It's a huge negotiation that they have to get right.
And it's not just him. United are also reportedly nailed on for Elliot Anderson.
Yeah, for the people we talk to, it's simply a matter of when, not if.
Anderson brings that energy. He's brave on the ball. He's seen as Premier League ready right now.
He is.
So this creates the big dilemma, right? For the club, for the fans listening. Do you go out and sign both of them?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get Gomes and Anderson and basically blow your whole budget on the midfield? Or do you pick one and save some money for, say, a striker?
That is the multi-million-pound question.
Yeah.
And to make it more complicated, there's another name in the mix. He's James Garner, their own academy graduate. Alex Crook is reporting they're monitoring his situation because his contract is up at the end of the season.
So a potential free transfer?
Potentially. And it's a very clever move because it helps with those homegrown quotas.
Interesting. Okay, what about up front? Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth is a name that keeps popping up.
It is. The word is that their technical director, Simon Francis, is ready to advise Semenyo to choose United. He's got pace, power, a direct threat.
He sounds like he'd fit Amorim's system.
On the surface, yes, he's a direct runner. But the real question is, does he have the footballing intelligence to fit into a complex system of pressing and movement? Or is he just a raw athlete?
That's the gamble.
Yeah.
And speaking of gambles, we have to mention the rumor that it would rock European football.
Ah, yes. Vinicius Jr.
Several Premier League clubs, including United, are apparently monitoring his situation.
The reports mention a strained relationship with Xabi Alonso. Look, this would be a blockbuster headline signing, the kind of move that gets the whole world talking. But our sources are very careful to stress the massive financial risk. Not just the fee and the wages, but the disruption to the whole salary structure. It is the definition of a high-stakes, high-reward gamble.
So you've got injuries, you have this huge transfer strategy, but all of it, every conversation comes back to that performance against Everton. It sent shockwaves through the club.
It was historically bad. I mean, yes, the first home defeat to Everton since 2013 is bad enough.
But that's not the unbelievable fact.
Not even close.
Yeah.
The truly defining statistic, the one that points to a systemic problem, is that it was the club's first ever loss at Old Trafford after the opposition got a red card.
Wait, say that again. Their record before that was what?
36 wins, 10 draws, and 0 losses.
That's insane. That goes beyond tactics or players. That's a failure of mentality, a failure of leadership.
Exactly. Fans are stunned. They're demanding answers. And the pundits, as you'd expect, were scathing.
Gary Neville, he honed right in on the mentality issue, didn't he?
Almost exclusively. He called it a very bad night, even embarrassing at times.
And he wasn't buying any of the injury excuses.
No. He argued that 10-man Everton simply outworked United through pure willpower. For him, it's a clear mentality issue and a leadership issue.
So Neville focused on the players, but Jamie Carragher's analysis went somewhere else. It cut a bit deeper, I think.
It cut much deeper because he aimed it directly at the manager, at Amorim.
What did he say?
He said this felt like the first time he's watched a manager stick so rigidly to a system instead of adapting to the, quote, rhythms and realities of the game.
That is a stinging tactical criticism. He's basically saying Amorim is predictable, that he couldn't adjust in-game.
Precisely. When they had the man advantage, he just stuck with the 4-3-3. He didn't adapt to overload the flanks or break down Everton's deep block.
So he made it easy for them to defend, even with 10 men.
He did. And that failure to adapt in the moment is why all the pressure has just exploded onto his shoulders.
And this creates the central conflict, doesn't it? The question the club has to answer is the problem, as Neville says, about hunger and willpower.
Or is it, as Carragher argues, the manager's tactical rigidity? His inability to change the system when it's not working.
Because you can't really fix one without knowing which is the root cause.
And that choice dictates everything. Do you sign personalities or do you sign system players?
What a complicated, pressurized situation. So we've covered the injuries ahead of Palace, the absolute necessity of these 50 million pound midfield targets, and now this explosion of pressure after that. That systemic failure.
It's a club at an existential moment.
Yeah.
They need decisive action, and they need it now.
So here's a final thought.
Yeah.
Given Carragher's criticism that the manager is struggling to adapt and knowing Martinez is about to return, is the Warriors' return less about his defensive skill and more about that one single element of character and leadership he brings? The very thing that both Neville and Carragher said was completely missing.
That combination of skill and pure defiance might be the only short-term fix they have.
So what stands out to you, for everyone listening? What's the single most essential piece of this puzzle that United has to find right now? Is it the 50 million pound midfield anchor? Or is it just finding the character that turns 0 losses into your first ever loss against 10 men?
A fascinating question to ponder.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.